Hello, kids. Hello, friends. Hello. And welcome to this special teaching series for Twin Flames. I want to welcome you all in, whether you're new here, whether you're returning, and it depends on where you're engaging with this content, but this is a new series we're starting. It's going to take us a while. We'll be working on this all year and probably beyond, called Twin Flames 2.0. So this is a body of work that I attempted to start back in 2020, and I got stopped because obviously I wasn't ready yet. And so now Spirit's saying, oh, you're ready to do this work again because I've done it in other lifetimes. So I have a whole bunch of stuff to share with you, no matter where you're at on the journey. Lots of insights based on the channelings that we're going to be doing, the teachings, lots of guidance, and some special just learning about the energy of the twin flame connection, understanding where you're at on the journey, what is a twin flame. So no matter where you're at, whether you think you know everything about twin flames or whether you're just like, what is this girl talking about? I invite you to step in because we're sharing the information that is pertinent to the twin flame journey in this now. And based on what the guides feel is important for you all to know based on your own personal journey, your own spiritual path. You could be engaging with this content on YouTube. In such case, I'm here in video format. Maybe for this first video, I'm not sure if I'll come back as a video. I'm posting this on Loveland Tarot. I think that's where this content is going to live on YouTube, my Loveland Tarot channel. But I also have a TLC for the Soul channel on YouTube. It's all kind of based around the spiritual path, the spiritual journey. But you may be coming from that channel, and I welcome you here. You could be listening on the podcast, which is available everywhere. And if you're on the podcast and you're kind of like, I don't care anything about the twin flame journey, then, just skip this and move on to some other content, because I put everything on the podcast because I think it's one good repository for my entire body of work right now. Because podcasts don't seem to go away, so they don't accidentally get deleted and stuff like that. The content seems to live on for quite some time. For my Spotify people, I've got quite a few people on Spotify. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to create a Spotify playlist for this content. But like I said before, somehow I changed my Spotify membership plan and all the playlists that I made for you guys got deleted. So I'll just do my best to create the playlist, put it out there. So if you're listening on some other podcast provider and you want to pop over to Spotify, we'll have this whole thing in a playlist. And all the channelings, all the energy work that we're doing, everything that I communicate that's information about the journey is also posted on my blog. So it's going to have its own section on my blog. So the links to everything I talk about here on the show are always listed in all the show notes. So if you want to read the channelings, if you want to use the blog as a workbook, because this is brand new work, we don't have a workbook yet. I have a feeling everything we do here is going to we'll be creating some sort of a workbook for folks to use on your path. But right now the blog will be your actual workbook, and you can, print out those pages or whatever floats your boat for that. Before we go any further, though, I want to make sure I get us all set up in cozy, sacred space as I wrap us all in love light and light love, inviting in the spirit guides who overlight this TLC for the soul work, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians. We have a special spirit guide group for this Twin Flames 2.0 work. We have the same overarching guides. We're also bringing in Archangel Chamuel, who is the archangel in charge of twin flame unions, romance and partnerships. We're bringing in Archangel Raziel to help me bring in a lot of the more esoteric inner mystery school teachings about twin flames. I will also be working with various shamanic guides that have been with me for quite some time on this journey. I have a twin flame dragon pair from the Pacific Rim that will be working with us, and I have a twin flames in union pair of wolf shifters who will be working with us. So it just depends on whether we're doing healing, teaching, or whatever. But what I have been guided to do, and I've already channeled in like 4 different bodies of work that are going to cover like, I think maybe 4 different episodes. But the guidance is, as it is with the journey, the guidance for us is to take it easy, take it slow, bring in the teachings in small chunks so that you have time to listen to them, maybe re-listen to them, study them on the blog post or whatever, like study the actual channeling, the words, let them integrate into your soul, give you a chance to do any of the energy work that might be part of this particular teaching. And I do have a, who cares, right? I have a background in teaching. I have a background in professional training. And while we're approaching this in 2 different ways. Number one, yes, it's a sacred journey. So I take it very seriously. I think it's sacred. You'll see by what we share with you. And if you are, like I said, if you're a twin flame who's like, I've read all this twin flame stuff, I don't need you to tell me what a twin flame is. I invite you to take off your I know it all hat and just sit down and listen, because I think there might be some new information or parts of the teaching that are brand new to you, and will offer you some solace and some additional guidance on where you're at in your path. So let's just come at this, no matter who you are, with like a beginner's mind. And let's just, the other thing, the flip side of like the sacredness and seriousness and everything is, we're also going to try to, we're not going to try to have fun. We are going to have fun with this too, because this journey, I will say it's not an easy one, because it is a fast track to your soul's growth and your soul learning. It will get you the most bang for your buck if this is your lifetime where your soul has a lot of learning to do. So let's also try to just bring some like fun and levity to it, to all of the other side of it, which is all of the, soul lessons and integration and all of that work, which can be quite trying and, I have to admit, taxing at times. I've been through this. Otherwise, I would not be cleared now to start teaching this to y'all. So I think that there's a message there in my journey. Is I thought I was ready for this back in 2020, and I had a whole lot of interesting stuff that Spirit was like, yeah, you're supposed to be doing this, but you're not there yet. And so it's taken 3 more years of soul work and integration and learning on my own personal path to be able now to be sitting here in front of you and teaching this body of work. So I'm honored that you're here with me. I hope you find something interesting and fun and informative along the way. And I say we just, I do want to say a couple more things before I dive into the channeling, because it's really not that long, but these channelings are short to read, but they're kind of what I call a monad, because they kind of like, there's so many different packets of information in the download, because these are all what I call channeled, meaning I don't know, I'm not someone like making up a story. I sit down in sacred space with my guides, as are all my books. If you've read any of my books, they're all free to read on ebook format. All my fiction books, there's one nonfiction right now. I guess this might be the next nonfiction one, but nonfiction books, I sit down in sacred space with Spirit. I have the subject in mind. I invite in the guides who are part of that body of work, and I just do automatic writing, and the the stuff just comes through. That's just my spiritual gift. That's just how I do things. That's just how I do it. So, off track. I do light language if you're new here. I do a lot of light language if you're new to light language. Whether it resonates or not, like it just comes out. So, just see where that takes you. That could be a whole other thing opening up to you as you hang out with me, is just being activated to light language as a result of being around me and me speaking it and doing healing work with you via light language. So, the other thing is, since we don't have a physical, like a workbook, a tangible thing yet, we're creating this as we go. You'll use the blog posts or these podcast videos as your tools. The other thing we've been guided to do is I've got one tarot deck. So we've been speaking a lot on the channel about finding one guide, one spiritual teacher right now, and simplifying it and kind of sticking with that person and learning the lessons that you need to learn, because when the student is ready, the appropriate teacher will come along. And so I'm just thinking that if you're here at this point, I'm the appropriate teacher. And I want to make this stuff easy and not so convoluted and complicated. And I think it says it in the channeling too, but I will also say, there's a lot out there about the twin flame journey, and you have to use your discernment. And I think knowledge is power, and we will do our best here to educate you about the inner mystery school teachings of the twin flame journey. So, and I don't think I've ever said, just trust me and just go with what I say. Like, take these teachings and see how they resonate with you. If they don't resonate with you at all, then you're probably in the wrong place, and I'm not the teacher for you. And who knows why you're here? That you probably should go find somebody else. But if they resonate with you, then we're in the right space, we're in the right place. Let's just start this relationship up together. So I've been guided to use one tarot deck right now to simplify things, so we get to know a particular deck along the journey. So I think for the rest of this year, we're going to be using this one deck. I'm calling this a teaching deck. It's the Psychic Tarot for the Heart by John Holland. It's got a lot of good stuff in the guidebook. It's a very affordable deck. I don't know why that matters, but if you resonate with this, if you want to use this deck along with me, then I invite you to purchase a copy of this. I'm not affiliated with anybody other than my own body of work. But I got this on Hay House for like $12. So they were having like a huge sale. So I went directly to Hay House and got this deck. So it would be fun, I think, as we use the deck on the channel during these teachings, for you to kind of like have the deck as well and draw for yourself as we're drawing collectively. Even though, much of what we draw in the cards is going to resonate with some of you at some point. I also have my own personal decks that I've created. I have a deck called Twin Hearts, and I have a new deck coming here. Hopefully it's going to be here next week, called the Forest of the Wolf Oracle, and we will be using that quite a bit too with these teachings. So without further ado, I'm going to just read. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to read the channeling, but I want you to, we're already in sacred space. I want you to just sit back and kind of get in a receptive state, almost as if you're going into like a meditative state, but not so meditative that you're going to fall asleep. Although I guess it doesn't really matter if you fall asleep. The information is going to like seep in anyway. I don't think it's this chapter, or maybe it is. We have some energy exercises we're also going to be doing as well. So So we're going to start out super simple, although in this channeling, information came through that kind of what I thought I knew. I was kind of like, oh, yeah, it resonates with me because I remember it. I remember teaching it in Lemuria, kind of like Star Mother teachings. My job in one of my lifetimes in Lemuria was as a high priestess for twin flames. So, she's got so many chills. That's another moniker here on this channel too, is like so many chills. So something needs to make me, I'm going to make myself a little t-shirt that says so many chills. So whenever I get a hit from spirit, it'll just be like so many chills. That's just how it happens. All right. So twin flames 2.0. What is a twin flame? So let's get in a receptive state. Take a deep breath together. The reason I'm approaching it like this is I feel like this information is akin to when you first meet, to the time in your spiritual journey when you first met your spirit guides. So I'm thinking back to when I was like a newbie on the spiritual journey. I didn't really know that I was actually consciously on it yet. Like I'd always been like kind of open, like psychically kind of open kind of a thing. But when I consciously realized I was on this quote unquote spiritual path, way back when, was that like 20, I don't even know when it was, 2013 or something. And I remember my teacher that I had back then, one of my very first spiritual teachers, we had this like a thing about like a meditation or whatever, like meet your spirit guides. And then every quarter we would do something called Elder Council, where we would like, come into a meditative, like a shamanic journey and go in to meet our spirit guide elders and get messages. And I swear, way back then, I would be so nervous. And everybody in the group was like so nervous about these little meetings with elder council and meetings with spirit guides. And I feel like these teachings are kind of akin to that, because you're opening up to kind of something you already know. And it's like exciting yet scary at the same time. And depending on where you're at on your path, what wave you're in, because we're going to approach this, there's 3 waves of kind of where you're at on the twin flame journey. Where you're at, you can still have a lot of inner healing to do around this journey. And so the teachings could start bringing up things that need to be healed and cleared. So we may be guided at the end of each one of these teachings to do a healing. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so I know I've been talking a lot. That's the Gemini in me. Okay, so let's sit back. Let's relax. Let's take another deep breath together. And this is chapter 1. What is a twin flame? Long ago and far away, there was a time that the twin flame journey was held in a sacred regard. This was a time when those who were involved in the safekeeping of the twin flame legacy were both high priestess and priests. Modern day twin flame knowledge has been greatly watered down and misunderstood. The legacy of twin flames is both resurgent and upgrading. The intent of this work is to educate, inform, and heal the sacred bond that is known as the twin flame union. What is a twin flame? When a soul is first split from the God source, it starts out as a light being with both a masculine and feminine particle. This sacred God particle is then split off and becomes 2 souls, each with an intricate and intrinsic bond to each other. There can be only one bond of this nature between the 2 particles. Any other bonds between 2 souls are known as soulmates or soul contracts meant for soul growth and teaching lessons on a soul's journey. This special bond, held by the aforementioned twin flame, is everlasting, eternal, and held in the greatest regard due to the special power of the two who become one. Every kingdom, that means, and when we say every kingdom, it's like angelics, elemental kingdom, human race kingdom. Every kingdom and every being has a divine counterpart formed in this way. However, it is the twin flames of the human kingdom that we are referring to in this body of work. For no other soul journey in the human realm teaches lessons and creates growth as swiftly and harmoniously as the twin flame journey. And I am going to go into chapter 2. And then when I come back, next episode, we're going to play with this. So chapter 2 is the soul signature of the twin flame. There is no other blueprint that can replicate the special soul signature of the twin flame. A clairvoyant and anyone who can see or scan energy is able to view this special makeup. Two souls made up of their accompanying I am presences, higher selves, and lower astral bodies exists. The two souls that make up the twin flame are both encapsulated in their own special oversoul that makes up the twin flame's soul signature. There are connections made at the belly button chakra that bond the two together in an everlasting connection. I'm going to cry. This chakra bond is never severed until the two souls that make up the twin flame return to source. This can only occur after the souls reach a very advanced state of consciousness. This special bond, held by the twin flames, is both a sacred contract and a gift from God. No other bond will ever be as strong. Okay, well, it's so much right there. It's so much. What do you want me to do right now? Okay, so what they want you to do is sit with this information, and it's going to need to integrate a little bit. It's going to start probably bringing up some feelings and emotions. It's just going to start stirring things up. It's going to start stirring the pot, I believe. Even for those of you that have been on this journey for a while, I think you're going to see a whole new side of things. And they want me to just kind of leave it at that. So let's get really integrated into those two chapters. Like I said, they're on the blog, or you can watch this again. And then the next time I come back, we're going to kind of prove to you, we're going to start scanning energy of different soul connections, and showing you energetically so that you can see, because knowledge is power, what the energy of the twin flame connection kind of feels like in relation to the energy of other types of connections, such as soulmates or these soul contracts that we're talking about. All right. So let's just get us a card, because I do want to also keep these teachings not super long, like maybe around 30 minutes. So we're going to get our first card of the series from the John Holland deck. Let's just see, and then we'll read from the book. We got, I forgot what this says. The only thing about this deck is the major arcana. It's green, so this is cups. So we got the 4 of cups. I'm learning this deck too because it's not super okay. So it doesn't say Four of Cups anywhere. The colors of the borders on this deck have tell you whether they're cups or swords or whatever. The other thing about this deck is there's no tens. There's a major arcana, there's a minor arcana, but there's no 10 cards, and there's no, what are those called? The page, queen, and king cards and all that. And there's chakra cards instead. But this is the Four of Cups. The keywords are boredom, delusion, vigilance, and action. And the teaching is often in affairs of the heart, you may become complacent, even bored with what you have. You forget to see the magic of your interactions with others and fail to invest time and effort to maintain the human loving link. If you've been looking for a relationship for some time without success, you may become disillusioned or discouraged, no longer believing that a relationship will manifest. Your enthusiasm diminishes and you no longer provide the universe with the energy needed to produce the relationship. The same is true of struggling too long to improve an existing relationship. Now is not the time for complacency. This is your opportunity to attain what you've been seeking or to improve what you have. It requires vigilance, action, and enthusiasm. Lift your spirits and look for the opportunity that will present itself. Then act. Sounds like this journey. All right. So opportunity beckons. I think it's a nice first card for our first episode. So is there anything else that I'm going to check in with the guides that are here? If there's anything else they want me to do at this time. Okay, so not at this time. So we're good. I want you to, your homework, I think, is to go back and just re-listen or read the channeling and, set the intentions to be shown with your guides, what you need to be shown, what you need to know, what your focus is. And when we come back in episode 2, we're going to start scanning the soul signature, and we're going to talk about wave 1 of the twin flame journey, so we can get really clear on so you all can get really clear on where you might be at in terms of the work, in terms of the journey. And that's going to take us a while to get through the waves. So I want to thank you all so much for joining me here. I'm really excited to be doing this sacred work with you. And we will see you all again soon. Take care.